The train screeched to a stop underground, lights flickering, people groaning in annoyance. No one expected that in the middle of a regular rush-hour commute, a single act of kindness would change multiple lives forever. One man, already exhausted from life, would step forward when everyone else froze. And what he did that day would echo far beyond that subway car, into boardrooms, headlines, and hearts. Before we begin, take a moment to support stories that restore faith in humanity. Subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments so more people can hear these real-life inspired stories. You're watching Kindness Story Hub, where small acts create life-changing moments. Marcus Reed was not having a good year. At 34, he was a single father doing his best to raise his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, in a tiny Brooklyn apartment. His wife had passed away 3 years earlier after a sudden illness, leaving Marcus to figure out grief, parenting, and survival all at once. He worked 2 jobs, days as a maintenance supervisor in a public school, nights driving for a delivery service. Sleep was a luxury. Peace was rare. That morning, Marcus was running late. Lily had begged him to braid her hair himself instead of rushing her to daycare. He had tried, failed, and tried again, both of them laughing until the clock reminded him of reality. He kissed her forehead, promised he'd be back before bedtime, and rushed toward the subway. He squeezed into the crowded car just as the doors closed. People stood shoulder to shoulder, staring at phones, faces blank. Marcus leaned against a pole, eyes heavy, thinking about bills, groceries, and how Lily needed new shoes again. That's when he heard it. A soft gasp at first. Then a sharper cry. A woman near the center of the car doubled over, gripping the metal seat. She was visibly pregnant, her face pale, eyes wide with fear. At first, some passengers looked away, unsure, uncomfortable. A few whispered. One man muttered that someone should call for help. Then the woman cried out again. "My baby," she whispered, voice shaking. "I think it's happening." Panic rippled through the car. Someone pressed the emergency button. Another person shouted toward the conductor. But the train was between stations, deep underground. Help would take time. Marcus felt his heart pound. He had never delivered a baby. He wasn't a doctor. But something inside him moved before logic could stop it. He pushed gently through the crowd. "I'm here," he said calmly, kneeling in front of her. "My name's Marcus. You're not alone." The woman looked at him, tears streaming down her face. "I'm scared," she said. "My husband, he's out of town. I don't know what to do." Marcus remembered Lily's birth. The fear. The waiting. The way his late wife had squeezed his hand and trusted him completely. He took a deep breath. "We'll get through this," he said softly. "One step at a time." A woman nearby offered her coat. Another held the pregnant woman's hand. Someone else called 911. The subway car, once cold and distant, slowly transformed into a circle of quiet support. Marcus talked the woman through her breathing, just like he remembered from years ago. He stayed calm even as his hands trembled. The train finally jolted to a stop at the next station, but by then, it was clear the baby wasn't waiting. Minutes felt like hours, and then, in the middle of that subway car, surrounded by strangers, a baby was born. The baby's cry cut through the noise like music. People gasped. Some cried. Marcus wrapped the newborn gently in the offered coat, his eyes stinging with tears he didn't expect. "You did it," he told the mother, smiling. "Your baby's here." Sirens echoed as paramedics rushed in. The mother was carefully lifted onto a stretcher, still holding her baby, her eyes locked on Marcus. "Thank you," she whispered. "I'll never forget you." Marcus nodded, suddenly shy, unsure what to say. As quickly as it had happened, the moment passed. The doors closed. The train moved on. By the time Marcus reached work, he was late, shaken, and emotionally drained. He didn't tell anyone what had happened. He just went about his day, fixing broken doors and leaky pipes, his mind replaying the baby's first cry. Life went on. Weeks passed. Bills piled up. Lily got sick with a mild fever. Marcus missed a shift and worried about rent. The subway miracle faded into memory, filed away as something unbelievable but real. Then one afternoon, Marcus was called into the school office. He assumed the worst. Budget cuts. Complaints. Maybe even layoffs instead. A well-dressed woman stood when he entered. She looked familiar, very familiar. Marcus, she said, her voice warm. It took a second. Then his eyes widened. The subway, he said quietly. She smiled, tears forming. Yes. I'm Claire. Claire explained that she was the wife of Daniel Harper, CEO of one of the largest transportation technology companies in the country. She had avoided the spotlight most of her pregnancy, wanting a normal life. That day on the subway, she had been on her way to a routine appointment, and you saved us, she said. Both of us. Marcus shook his head. I just helped. Anyone would have. She looked at him seriously. Not everyone would step forward. Not everyone stays calm. Not everyone cares. She handed him a card. Inside was a number and an invitation to dinner. Marcus hesitated, unsure, but Claire insisted. That dinner, Marcus met Daniel Harper, a powerful man with kind eyes and a firm handshake. He listened as Claire retold the story, holding their baby, now healthy and smiling. Daniel leaned forward. I believe kindness should never go unnoticed, he said. And I believe in helping those who help others. Marcus didn't know what to expect. He didn't ask for anything, but help came anyway. Within a month, Marcus was offered a new position, facilities manager at a newly funded community school program, with better hours, benefits, and stability. Lily got a scholarship to a private elementary school partnered with the program. Their apartment issues were resolved quietly. A weight Marcus had carried for years began to lift, but more than the financial change was the emotional one. Lily noticed it first. You smile more now, Daddy, she said one night. Marcus hugged her tightly. That's because good people helped us, he replied. And we'll help others too. Marcus began volunteering, speaking at community events about kindness and courage. He never bragged. He never exaggerated. He simply told the truth. That one moment of choosing to care can change everything. Claire and Daniel stayed in touch, not as benefactors, but as friends. Their children grew. Their lives moved forward. But the bond remained years later. Marcus would still ride the subway. Still work hard. Still struggle sometimes, but whenever he saw a stranger in need, he remembered that day underground, the fear, the trust, the miracle, and he stepped forward, because kindness doesn't need a title. It doesn't need money. It just needs someone brave enough to say, I'm here. And maybe that's the real lesson of this story. You never know who you're helping. You never know how far your kindness will travel. But when you choose compassion, the world shifts, quietly, powerfully, forever. So the next time life gives you a chance to help, take it. It might just change a life, maybe even your own.